You see, Butters? Teaching people to think of their brand just makes more people like them. This whole thing is wrong. They're telling you guys to reduce yourself into products.
Hey guys! So funny bumping into you.
Yeah, I mean, we all live here now, so not that funny.
We're just performers instead of human beings.
He's right. Trying to make ourselves into a brand just turned us into products. We don't need to be a brand, do we?
We couldn't get jobs and we ran out of money. We ate chicken out of bowls and rode in big cars full of smelly people to something called work. Every day was a new nightmare.
Hey! You ever heard of a thing called privacy?
Yeah, nobody gives a shit. Will you two just shut up and go away?
South Park has done it again, and this time the fallout is unlike anything Meghan Markle and Prince Harry have ever faced. What started as a simple parody has now escalated into a cultural phenomenon that is dismantling their carefully crafted brand in real time. For a couple whose entire post-royal life revolves around controlling their image and monetizing their story, the latest South Park leaks are nothing short of a nightmare, and the internet is having the time of its life watching it unfold. It all began with a scene that seemed innocent enough in classic South Park fashion. Butters, the naive yet brutally honest character, summed up the problem in a single line. Don't you see, Butters? Teaching people to think of their brand just makes more people like them. This whole thing is wrong. They're telling you guys to reduce yourself into products. That line, paired with the show's now infamous caricature of Meghan and Harry wandering around South Park demanding privacy, instantly went viral. Within hours, clips and screenshots flooded TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram, and memes began to take on a life of their own. The first wave of attention was humorous. Fans of the show laughed, the couple's critics snickered, and even neutral viewers admitted it was clever satire. But then, everything changed. Behind the scenes, something far more devastating was brewing. Stunningly high-quality animation frames began leaking online, not as grainy screenshots or speculative fan edits, but as crystal-clear images watermarked with South Park studio tags. These weren't the sort of leaks that could be dismissed as fake. They were official, deliberate, and merciless. One image showed Meghan perched atop a throne made entirely of shattered wine bottles, each bottle labeled with one of her public or commercial failures. Pearl, her canceled Netflix animated series, Spotify, referencing their terminated podcast deal, and The Bench, the children's book that became more meme than bestseller. In the frame, Meghan's cartoon self is mid-rant, her eyes crossed with pink dollar signs, while disinterested villagers scroll through their phones beneath her. It was a visual essay on overexposure and self-commodification, condensed into one brutal, hilarious picture. Then came the frame that broke the internet. Harry crouched in a therapy session, desperately clutching a massive baby bottle labeled validation under a banner that screamed, "Still spare." The image didn't just poke fun. It surgically dismantled Harry's post-royal identity. Overnight, the leaks spread across Discord servers, Telegram channels, and private Substack blogs, spawning memes, TikTok edits, and fan commentary. This wasn't just entertainment anymore. It was reputational warfare disguised as comedy. At first, Meghan and Harry's team reportedly assumed it was an isolated incident, an irritating but survivable blip in the endless media cycle. But then more frames leaked. Each one was sharper, funnier, and more humiliating than the last. South Park didn't just roast the Sussexes. It stripped them of the narrative control they've spent millions of dollars building. Meghan was portrayed as a social media-obsessed monarch, screaming the word grace into a golden microphone while literally sitting on the rubble of her failed ventures. Harry was reduced to a therapy-addicted caricature, a man untethered from purpose, his entire existence distilled into desperation for relevance. Behind him loomed a billboard reading "Crisis of Narrative," a subtle but devastating nod to the couple's ongoing struggle to keep their brand alive. The internet reaction was immediate and merciless. TikTok users began creating slow-motion edits of the leaked frames, adding dramatic violin music or splicing in clips from Meghan and Harry's infamous Oprah interview. Some of the memes became viral overnight, like one parody trailer titled "Still Spare." The sequel, which stitched together Harry's baby bottle frame with ominous movie music and fake Netflix branding. Reddit called it a cultural takedown, and Twitter's trending tab lit up with the hashtag #SpoiledSussex. What started as a single joke had evolved into a digital carnival of ridicule. And then came the truly shocking twist. The leaks were not random. According to online sleuths and entertainment insiders, these images came from multiple internal sources within the South Park production team. Each set of frames had unique watermarks and metadata, indicating that multiple insiders were quietly feeding content to the public in a coordinated fashion. These weren't teaser images or promotional materials. They were direct pulls from the final master cut of an upcoming South Park episode. Someone on the inside wanted Meghan and Harry to squirm, and they were doing it with surgical precision. For Meghan and Harry's team, this was a full-blown crisis. Archewell, the media organization they founded to control their image and produce content, reportedly went into what insiders called emergency mode. Lawyers were looped in, cease and desist letters were drafted, and frantic emails flew to Comedy Central and South Park's production offices. But there was one problem. The episode had already been completed and delivered to the network. Nothing could be changed, and the more threats Meghan's team sent, the more South Park's creators allegedly smiled. For Trey Parker and Matt Stone, legal warnings weren't obstacles, they were inspiration. According to one source, the phrase reputational harm actually made it into the final script as a joke. While Meghan's team scrambled behind the scenes, she attempted an emotional counterattack. In a last-ditch effort to reclaim the narrative, she launched a surprise Instagram live session. The concept was simple. No fancy lighting, no filters, just Meghan in a pastel sweater speaking softly about grace, reflection, and the importance of privacy. But technology, and perhaps fate, wasn't on her side. The live stream glitched repeatedly, her audio lagged, and the screen froze at the worst possible moments. Within minutes, TikTok creators were dubbing in South Park chants over her frozen face, while others added buzzing cartoon bees labeled brand deals and legal threats. What was meant to be a moment of raw sincerity instantly became meme fuel. After 12 agonizing minutes, the live stream ended abruptly. The humiliation didn't stop there. According to insiders, Harry began privately reaching out to old contacts, including a former royal aide and even a Netflix executive he had once leaned on for media advice. He wasn't looking for headlines, just guidance, maybe even a little sympathy. But this time, no one answered. The silence was deafening, and insiders say it wasn't accidental. No one wanted to risk becoming a South Park punchline. Even a casual word of support could be screen-capped, twisted, and immortalized as a meme. For Harry, it wasn't just rejection, it was abandonment. Professional consequences followed quickly. Two wellness brands that had been in talks with Meghan for collaborations, a high-end skincare line and a meditation app, suddenly went cold, pausing negotiations indefinitely. A rival streaming platform, which had been developing a documentary-style series around Meghan's authentic brand, quietly shelved the project. A leaked internal email from a brand strategist summed it up with brutal clarity. Associating with Meghan invites risk of parody, ridicule, and meme exposure. Her name had gone from marketable to memeable almost overnight. Even her loyal online fanbase began to crack. Influencers who once gushed over Meghan's lifestyle posted cheeky reels instead. Beauty vloggers mocked her wine brand. Fashion bloggers refused to hold her products in sponsored content for fear of becoming part of the next viral frame. Sentiment reports at Archewell became useless because the narrative was mutating too fast to track. By the time her team prepared a response to one wave of memes, a newer, harsher one had already taken over. And as the chaos raged online, Buckingham Palace remained perfectly silent. No statements, no comments, not even an off-the-record whisper. Insiders claim Prince William was briefed on the situation and responded with nothing more than a smirk. Allegedly, palace staff even shared their favorite memes in private WhatsApp groups. The monarchy didn't need to fight fire with fire. They knew that sometimes the most powerful response is to let your opponent burn alone. By the time late-night hosts and other comedians joined the pylon, the damage was irreversible. Jimmy Kimmel joked that Meghan's Rosie had the same flavor as her podcast. Forgettable, with strong hints of victimhood. Stephen Colbert aired a parody promo for Still Spare, while Jimmy Fallon riffed about the couple's endless quest for privacy while on a global media tour. Even rival animated shows slipped in subtle jabs, signaling that Meghan and Harry had officially crossed the line from controversial celebrities to permanent pop culture punchlines. The scariest part for Meghan and Harry is that this might not be the end. South Park has a history of creating recurring caricatures for celebrities who capture the public imagination in just the wrong way. Insiders claim Trey Parker teased during a private call, "Wait until you see what didn't leak." If that's true, the Sussexes may have only faced the opening salvo in what could become a long-running comedic saga. And so, Meghan and Harry's grand plan for a post-royal media empire has collided headfirst with the one force they cannot control: the internet's appetite for mockery. They have gone from content creators to content themselves, from storytellers to the story, from the narrators of their lives to the punchlines of someone else's script. For a couple obsessed with image, there may be no greater nightmare. So what do you think, Buzz Loop family? Can Meghan and Harry ever recover from this pop culture implosion? Or are they destined to remain cartoon characters in the world's collective imagination? Drop your thoughts below and stay tuned to the Buzz Loop, because if South Park has its way, the next roast might just be the most savage yet.